Take a break from your busy schedule and join Harold Sala for Guidelines for Living.
Abdul Rahman was on death row with little prospect of avoiding execution. The case against him was airtight. He confessed his crime, one allegedly committed some 16 years before. There was a public outcry as well to execute the bearded, sad-faced man for what he had done. Thousands of people rallied in the streets demanding that he be executed. And what was the crime that he had committed? Some 16 years before, at the age of 25, he had converted from Islam to Christianity. Now, just a minute you may be thinking, wondering, is that all he did? Don't many people do what he did every day? Yes, but not in a Muslim country, where the Sharia or religious law condemns a person to death. When the international press reported the forthcoming execution, a firestorm of reaction erupted that eventually saved his life. But I'm ahead of the story. Rahman was living in Afghanistan, where the Constitution affords religious freedom. But a different set of laws contained in the Sharia, or the religious law, condemns a person to death who converts from Islam to another religion. When international pressure was brought to bear on then-President Hamid Karzai, he was adjudged mentally unfit to stand trial. In other words, he was pronounced crazy. Why? When the prosecutor would ask him questions, according to a court spokesman, he would talk to himself and mutter. When asked what he was saying, he responded, "I am speaking with God." When the missionary Mary Slessor, having spent most of her life ministering in Nigeria, returned to her native Scotland, she also seemed to be talking under her breath. She quickly explained, however, that she was praying, talking to Jesus. It seems that Rahman had also taken up this practice. The life of Abdul Rahman was spared, and he ultimately found asylum in the UK. But had there been no international outcry, he would have become a nameless casualty. A multitude of unknown individuals who convert to Christianity do not fare so well. Take, for example, the person who responded to Christian programming in Arabic produced by Transworld Radio, a major broadcasting group that's Christian. Writing to the broadcaster, the listener told of his response, trusting Jesus Christ as his Lord and Savior. A few months later, when the broadcaster was traveling in the area where the listener lived, he came to the village and asked where this person could be found. "I will take you there," said the man. The broadcaster followed the neighbor who led him, not to his house, but to the local cemetery. "This is where he is," he said, adding, "This is what happens to someone who converts to Jesus Christ." There has been a movement in Islamic countries to reject secular law in favor of Sharia law, where imams and clerics who demand harsh and severe reprisals upon victims carry far more authority than the government. The real battle ahead is not Islam versus the West, but extremism versus the rest of the world. "I have full awareness of what I have chosen," Rahman told an Italian newspaperman, adding, "If I must die, I will die." His was the attitude Jesus spoke of when he said, "If anyone would come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me." Indeed, it is still true today.
You've just heard Guidelines for Living. For more practical and inspirational messages, visit guidelines.org. If you find our devotionals helpful and would like to share them with others, consider supporting our ministry with a donation. Again, that's guidelines.org. Thanks for listening to Guidelines for Living.